So in this video, I think I should say super nervous. I've had the jitters all day long. I have two screens. If my eyes are going back and forth, it's because I have two. Let me do this. I have two cameras. Take a breath with me, people. All right. In this video, I'm going to share how I've created a very painful relationship with my body, a lot of judgment, a lot of criticism, and you might relate to that. And I'm going to share what I'm doing and how I'm working on changing that. So hopefully you will pick up some tips as well. So if you've ever thought badly about yourself because of your weight, if you've limited yourself, if you've thought, I will start that project when I lose my weight, or I will go for that job or that promotion or that achievement when I lose my weight, you are probably judging yourself as you currently are. And I've done that a lot. And in fact, I had the first episode of Weight Church 2.5 months ago. And I have been completely under the sway of the culture and society and believing that weight is a limiter. It's a limiting factor. And that what I can do is limited if I'm overweight. And so because I was not getting closer and closer to my goal weight, I was like, who am I to share what I have to share on this topic? And that is not a way to live. So here I am stepping out and standing for what I believe and what I've been learning and taking steps literally right now to change my relationship with all of those beliefs and that belief system. Okay, so if you don't know me, I'm Jordan Blaquera. You can find me at cjblaquera.com. That's a hard last name. Probably don't know how to spell that. Blaquera. And also at weightchurch.com. And I am the founder, and I'm currently in my own journey, which is My Tales from the Scale, where I'm documenting my own weight loss journey. So Weight Church is about aligning our relationship with our body to be not in alignment with society and the culture and perchance what your mother, father, family instilled in you about that, but to align our relationship with our body with our divine essence instead, right? So, as we go along, if there's anything that you relate to, I'd love you to give me a thumbs up. Let me know that you're there, that you relate. And honestly, in this social media world, so often we're presenting the best version of ourselves. And I can only imagine being on a live stream or watching a video that's talking about weight. And in this age of selfies and wanting to look the best on camera and of filters that can just make us look fantastic, and we can crop out all the bad stuff that we don't like, that you may not want to give a thumbs up to this topic. But hey, would love it if you did. And that's cool if you don't. So here we go. Let's go back. I'm going to take you back to the day that I was born. It was a cold winter's day. I can almost feel the chill in my bones now. No, I will not take you back to the details of that, but I will say that when I was born, I was, as we all are, we step into the history of, we step into beginning the history in this body that we're given, and we step into the history of our family, and we step into the history of our culture. And we step into a history of belief systems about a lot of things, not the least of which is our bodies and our appearance. And that's what I did. So I stepped into a single mother's household, my mom, and she started to gain weight when she was about 8 to 10 years old. And she has been overweight for the remainder of her life. And she definitely had the point of view that there was something wrong with her for being overweight. And if she knew how to do something about it, or if she could get it off of her, that would have been awesome in her opinion. So she spent a lot of time dieting. And I heard those comments about her body and what she thought of it, and that it was the bane of her existence to be overweight. And so lo and behold, here I am with those same beliefs, with those same opinions, following along in her footsteps, and not just her footsteps, following along in the history that she was born into and into the culture that we're born into, and really putting a lot of stock in our appearances and being a very appearance, I don't know. Can I talk today? I don't know. Will I be able to speak English for the remainder of this broadcast? Perhaps. We have a heavy focus on appearance and body, and especially as women. So I was born into that continuum, right? The continuum of all of that started whenever it did, hundreds, thousands of years ago. And I stepped right into it. And we step into that culture that's our families, our country. We step into a lot of cultures, and one of them is that appearances matter a great deal, and they are an indictment, so to speak, of us, or I totally am nervous. Ay, ay, ay. Oh, my Lord. So as a young child, without even knowing it, I looked around, I observed my mom, I saw her model, I saw that most of my friends and most of the other women that I knew, in fact, I don't even recall a woman in my youth that stood for an opinion outside of the one that my mom held, which is thin is better. And if you're fat, there's a problem, and there's a problem with you, and you are somehow inferior in some way. So I learned to be quite concerned about my body and my weight. And if my mom was losing weight, or if I'm losing weight, it's a time to celebrate. And if we're not losing weight, it's a time to desperate. It's a time to feel desperate because you're just losing ground. And there's just such a sense of ranking myself based on my appearance. And I can remember being, I believe it was like 6th, 7th grade. And I would stand up, bend over, and look at my thighs, and I would see whether they were touching or not. And I watched as the thigh gap that I had was slowly disappearing until my thighs touched each other. And it's like the closer that my thighs got together, oh my Lord, like just think about sunshine shining through a thigh gap, and that as it comes to a close, like the light is just being extinguished, the light of my future, or of possibility, or of who's going to find me attractive, or of whether I'm a cool girl on campus is just fading with that thigh gap. Like the size of my body or the size of my thigh gap determines my future. And that was a mentality that I was living under and have lived under for a long time. So just this culture that a lot rides on the size of your body. Who's going to find you attractive? What your prospects are for a partner? What your prospects are for being hired? What kind of jobs you can have? Whether you'll be promoted? Whether you'll be accepted? Whether when you walk into a room, are you the best person in the room or the best woman in the room or the worst one? Or where do you rank? Are you going to be considered acceptable or not acceptable? So, and it also, the size of your body determines what you get to think about yourself. Like, you don't get to think you're amazing if you're overweight, because society does not roll with that idea. And unfortunately, I bought it hook, line, and sinker. And that's what I would call the old paradigm, the old pattern, the old pattern that is modeled for a lot of us and is enforced to this day with social media and with photoshopping and with magazines and headlines and movies, and in so many places we see it all around us. So I'm still living and breathing and swimming in this mentality. So I have been using my body as a measuring stick for self-worth, what kind of self-worth I get to have, whether I'm acceptable by society's standards, whether I have validity, as I said in the beginning, with Weight Church, which is a platform that I've wanted to create for a long time now. And I have held myself back. And I am guessing that you can relate to holding yourself back based on how you look, probably based on a number of things. But one of them, especially for women who are overweight, is by holding yourself back based on how much you weigh and how you look. So it's been a measuring stick. It's been an indictment of who I am. It's been a way to condemn myself and to judge myself and rank myself. And it hasn't felt good, people. Hasn't felt good at all. And just to have that message so internalized, I took it on. I looked around, I just absorbed it unconsciously. And then I have done a very good job of keeping those voices going inside of my own head and just keeping that old paradigm and that old system and way of thinking alive in my own mind. So here is a definition that I just learned recently that summarizes what I believe a body can be, instead of a measuring stick and a tool for making myself feel crappy. It is simply a vessel for consciousness. So what do I mean? It's a vessel that consciousness flows through. So what is consciousness? Consciousness could be a attention, focus, energy, frequency, or my favorite, divinity, the divinity that was planted in me through our creator, the creator of all that is. So basically we can determine, we can wake up from the paradigm and go, oh, damn, I've been agreeing to all that entire belief system, and I've been holding myself back and treating myself like crap based on that old belief system that I didn't even realize that I was doing this. And I actually have options. I don't have to believe that belief system. I could simply work to have the point of view, to have my point of view become closer to that of the source that created me, which would look more like compassion, love, connection, generosity, optimism, connection. I probably repeated myself there. I can decide, I can become the decider of the consciousness and the attention that I flow through this vessel. I do not have to be a puppet, so to speak, for the paradigm that I was born into. I can take a stand for the paradigm that I want to create and that I want to live under, which is that we are all equal. We don't need to measure. There is no point in measuring. We are all made of the same divinity. So why are we measuring? Feeling a little emotional. Why do we need to measure? It's just the old system that says, hey, scratch and claw to get your ranking and to get higher up the ladder. And you're always being compared, and you need to climb your way up the ladder and earn your worth and deserve and be better because you are not intrinsically worthy. And so I'm working now to accept and allow and to claim the intrinsic, inherent worthiness that the Creator gave me and gave all of us. I'm not special in that. We are all equal in that way. And to stop measuring, because measuring feels like a load of crap. And, but I've been patterned for decades to perceive a certain way. And, so as I said, this very broadcast is an example of going, okay, I'm not going to live according to the belief system that I was raised in. I'm going to decide that I stand for a new model, a new paradigm of acceptance, generosity, compassion, connection, equality, and unity. So my main point of this video is that we are the deciders of what we flow through this vessel. We don't have to inherit what was handed down to us, especially if it's not working for you, especially if it's not peaceful and the way that you want to conduct yourself moving forward. So we can be the deciders of the consciousness that flows through this vessel. So it's simply a vessel that we get to flow our energy through and flow consciousness through. So I want to encourage you to be more of the decider, the conscious decider of what you want to flow through your vessel, and to start to become aware of the belief system and the beliefs and the ideas and the way that you have perceived your own body. Maybe it's a way for you to get accomplishments or to get attention, or to get validation or to get worth or to get achievements that you can parade in front of other people so that you can hope for their approval to get perhaps your worth. And so you can become more aware of the way that you have been using this vessel and begin to decide if that's the way that you want to continue to use this vessel. And if you have been like me, beating yourself up and judging yourself harshly and criticizing yourself harshly because of the size of your body, maybe you want to avail yourself of a new possibility and a new option and a new potential of flowing that beautiful divine energy through you instead of that critical energy. So, if you would like to know about future Weight Church episodes, please go to weightchurch.com, WEIGHT, and leave me any comments here. I'd love to hear from you, and I hope to see you in future Weight Church live streams and episodes. Bye. Have a great Sunday.